Alright, welcome to another tutorial. So today we are going to be looking in on what all these buttons down here, what they are used for. Our other lesson covers on how to create your project and a similar or familiar thing to source panel and important way or the basics way to import your project to your timeline. So this is where we stopped in our previous lesson. So today we are going to be doing something new again. So looking at this timeline, if you see this blue line that cross our videos, they are called timelines. Looking at this video here, I'm going to be showing you something you may not know or something that you will also find out, but let me just say it now. So if you are familiar to Adobe Premiere Pro, you will know that whenever we want to reduce or zoom out our timeline, we use plus button to zoom out and we use minus button on the keyboard to reduce the timeline. So this is a system of you want to see everything that has been edited on your timeline or what is happening on your timeline. So I'm going to be showing you the same thing here. So for example, to do this thing I just said now, what you need to do is the way you used to zoom pictures with your two fingers on your phone when you want to zoom a picture is the way you will do this same thing here. So let me show you. So if you click and zoom, you will notice that we are zooming our timeline, we are expanding it, and as you can see, you will notice that we are also seeing everything happening inside the timeline. So if you do the same thing and zoom it back, you will notice that everything has reduced to the normal size. So that's just it, and is very interesting. So the next thing we are going to be looking at is the blue button down here. So what does this blue button does? So if you click on this blue button, you will see capture. Let's look at what it does. So click on the capture, boom, a live video and edit it, or also take a picture and edit it. Then you will see title. If you click on title, definitely it will add title. Then you click on media, definitely it will take you to where to import media. So if you click on the voice over there, it will now allow you to make a voice over to your timeline. We are going to be looking into them in the future time. So click on the capture button to capture, click on the text button to add text, then click on the media to add a new media or fresh file to your timeline, and voice over to add your voice over to your timeline. So the next button after the blue button, let's click on it it shows us the project asset. Here is where all the footage we imported into our timeline is. So anything you import here, anything you imported in Adobe Premiere Pro will be inside this place. So the three lines there, let's click on it and see what it's happened. The three lines here, I didn't say the three dots, the three line down the program. So click on it, you will see it shows us name. So what does this name means? It means something like aligning the footage according to their name, like alphabet. So maybe you brought in your image or your footage or anything, and maybe you feel that they are not aligned, so you can use there to click it to align them. Click it and click on the name, and everything will be aligned according to the name. So the next one there is the a button that looks like funnel. So if you click on it, you will see that it says all media types, which is the one we selected, and video only, and audio only, and image only. So what is trying to say is, by me putting all media types, means that anything can be added to this project. And the same thing with the video. If I click on video, it means that I'm trying to say what I need on this project asset is only video. So the same thing happens in the audio, the same thing happens in the image. So you know whichever one you want to do. So let's get back. So the next button there is our timeline button. After that is the third button there. So if you click on it, you will notice that our timeline is changing. You see it, you will notice that our timeline is changing. So if you are familiar with Adobe Premiere Pro, you will notice that this is the surface of Adobe Premiere Pro. The timeline, this is how it looks like. So if you look at our timeline now, you see that it have changed. So as you can see there, what we have there is, you will see our video is on track now, which is our first video is on track 1, then there is track 2, track 3, and track 4. So the same thing with on audio, track 1, track 2, and track 3. So what do I mean by track? Or maybe you don't understand what I mean by track, so let me explain it very well to you. So let me click on this video, just click and hold, then drag up. I click and hold and drag up, boom, to another track. As you can see now, you will notice that we have now created another track. Now the first track and the second track. So that's how this place works. So another thing we are going to be looking into here is the buttons around there. So you can see there is a I button here. So what this I button does is, for example, you know, Adobe works with any clip on the first track. So what do I mean? If as I'm moving this video now, you will notice that the video on blue is what is playing, is showing us on our monitor, our program monitor. So If I click and drag, you will notice that the video on the track 2 is what is showing on. Then remember, there is a video under the track 2 which is a forest full with water on the ground. So you notice that the video is not visible. So what Adobe sees is the first video on any track before the video under it. So let me say we want to see the video under the first video on the track 2, which is this blue one. This one I selected now. If you look at it, the yellow lines have round the video to tell you that this is the particular video I have selected now. So but it's not visible because there is a video on top of it. So if I click on the eye drop button there, you will notice that the video have gone blanked. Have you see it? So we can now be able to see the first video that is under it. So what this means now is, if there is any video on this track 2 that we have deselected or make it invisible, what it means that any video on that track will not be visible, or any text or anything on that track will not be visible to the main timeline or to the project. So the same thing happens when you click on the audio button there. If you click on the audio button, it means that you have deselected the audio, or you have mute the audio on that track. So that's just it. So the third button there is the padlock button. So if you click on that padlock button, you will notice that our track 2 have changed. So that means that you cannot even drag anything or have anything to do with anything on that track. So it means that that track is not needed at the moment. So the same thing will happen anytime you do anything like this and you try to export it. The same thing will happen. Anything on that track will not be visible to what you exported. So that's the thing about this track. Is like creating like your sequence on your sequence. Yeah, you getting me? So the next button we are going to be looking into is the fourth button there. So click on the fourth button there. So this is what pop up there, which says landscape, portrait and square. So these are like frame sizes, the frame size you wanted to use to in your working program. For example, if I click on this portrait, you will notice that our monitor have changed. So our monitor have changed. You see how it looks like. Are you seeing it? So if I'm playing all these videos, you see how it looks like than before. It means we have selected another frame size for this project. So if I click there and click on this square, you see how it looks like. So set up what you need to fit what you want to do. So let me put it on the last landscape as it was at the beginning. Boom, you will notice that everything have gotten back to normal. So let me deselect all these things and boom, they are now visible. So this is how you can access through your timeline and what the first four button does in Adobe Rush. So before I forgot, so if you look at the top button there where they write sequence 1, you will notice that there is a house button there. So what the house is mean is home. So if you click on it, it will take you back to home page. Let me click on it, so you will see where it will take us to. So boom, you see where it has taken us to. So like where we can begin anytime we want to create a project. So if I open it back, just click on it and everything will load back to your timeline. Then click on the third button to bring out your sequence tracks and everything. Zoom out to see what is happening on your video. Then up there you will see a arrow button going left. So what that means is like you made mistake or you want to collect something, like undo on your keyboard. You want to undo what you did. Maybe you did something and you don't like it, you want to undo it. So just click on that button and the thing will just go back to where it is before. So just know that if you made any mistake, that's the button you have to use to go back to where you are before, like undo button in your keyboard. So the next button there is your exporting button. So if after done with your editing everything and you are satisfied with what you just did and you want to export the video to the final footage so that it can now be watched, so what you will do is just click on that button and you will see what it say, ready to export. Then click on the export qualities where they said quality settings. Click on that arrow there to collapse the exporting format. Then you will see the preset, so click on the automatic, the button be down there. So you will notice that a frame format size have shown up. So from here now you can now select the frame size you want to. So remember, the amount of the bigger of the frame size, the amount of the MB. So but we are going to be looking at all these things at the future time. So after you are done selecting the frame size which you want to export it with, then you will now click on the export and your video will be automatically export and save inside your phone. So let me have your comment. If there is anything that is not clear to you, just let me know so that I can help you out. So thank you.